So there's this new open world post-apocalyptic survival game called Once Human that is scheduled for release in under 2 weeks, and because of the popularity of this game, you may be asking yourself if this has anything to offer for solo players. This is described as a multiplayer game, but yes, you can play most of the game's content solo without having to interact with other players. Let me tell you a few things that are important to know if you want to consider this. Straight away, it is important to know that the game does not feature offline play. The game has both PvP and PvE servers, and it will require an internet connection, in case that is a deal breaker for you. Now, the PvE servers are not completely devoid of PvP elements. Let me explain. There are some events that will force you into PvP, so players, even on PvE servers, can choose to engage in momentary PvP if they decide to take part in the event. However, these events are optional, and there are in most cases other ways of getting the resources they offer. The main difference between PvP and PvE servers is actually how the chaos state works. On both servers, players can actively choose to enter chaos state, or can passively enter chaos state as a result of certain in-game actions. Now, players in chaos state can attack other players and their buildings. And here's the difference. On PvP servers, chaos players can attack any other players of level 10 or above at any time. It doesn't matter if the other player is currently in a chaos state or not. In PvE servers, on the other hand, chaos players can only attack other chaos players, and all the other players are immune to any PvP damage. Now, echo stones are another mechanic that will force you to enter the chaos state if you want to extract the resources. An echo stone is a valuable item that you can take back to your territory and process it to extract highly valuable items. So aside from that, pretty much all of the other game's content can be completed as a single player, even though, needless to say, it can of course be much more challenging. That sounds like it is pretty well balanced and can be enjoyable for solo players. But now comes the thing that is unfortunately my personal deal breaker, and that is that the game relies on a seasonal model. In short, the developers plan to wipe your character every 6 weeks to keep gameplay fair and exclusive. It is not as hardcore as in some other games that use the seasonal model. You get to keep quite a few things, like your skins, blueprints, accessories and mods, as well as some currencies. But in my eyes, wipes are for games that lack decent game design. If you can only keep players engaged in your game by wiping their progress, then your gameplay loop and activities are not sustainable. If it's boring after 7 weeks, wiping every 6 weeks won't fix the root problem. This is of course just my opinion, but I know that there's a decent amount of players out there that were incredibly hyped for this game, and that excitement pretty much went to zero when they read that there are seasonal wipes. And it is unfortunate. This is in my eyes not a game that should go in this direction. The gameplay and weapons look like a ton of fun actually, as do many other of the game's aspects, but having to grind again and again after 6 weeks just doesn't do it for me. It's the main reason I don't bother with games like Diablo or Path of Exile. That's it from me for today. If you think this video helped you out, a like is appreciated.